Amigos, welcome one, welcome all. It is time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. So hold on to your hats because it's time for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You know the rest.
2,
Come on.
1, 0. Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Here we go.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no. It's show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show.
Let's go. Yeah. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Show with No Namers. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. Happy Halloween. Whatever you're dressing up as. That's right, we say, what are you gonna dress up as? My daughter has dressed up like the Grim Reaper. La Muerte, you say. That's right. She's excited. We're excited. I think it's a fun holiday. And up next, Thanksgiving. I know you don't celebrate that in Spain, but we do. Thanksgiving and then Christmas, then New Year's, and then the Epiphany. You guys celebrate the three wise men, los Reyes Magos, the Magi, we say as well. These guys who came to witness the birth of Christ and bring gifts. So we've got a few holidays in a row, consecutivos. A lot to celebrate here on The Show with No Name and on Vaughn Radio. So stay tuned all day long to continue learning and laughing in English. Are you ready for your first challenge of the day? I know you are. It's today's Say What Soundbite. Come on.
Say what?
That's right, folks. It is the Say What Soundbite. This is where we hear a famous person speaking, and you guys have to tell me what's going on in your own words. And hopefully, before the end of the show, you can tell me in the exact words that this person uses. Also, I want to send a couple shout-outs. As I told you guys, I always get amazing messages from you in my email inbox, on social media. And this one's from Elena. Elena, I said your name because I know you don't mind. And the other day I posted something and it said, stop trying to be liked by everybody. You don't even like everybody. Think about that. A lot of times we're looking for the acceptance, the approval of people we don't even know. And it's not realistic, right? So always remember, whose approval, whose acceptance, whose love are you looking for? And concentrate on them. Because it's impossible to be liked by everybody. Well, different strokes for different folks. Para gustos los colores. Sometimes people don't like you and it's got nothing to do with you. Their energy doesn't mix with yours. No problem. Move on. It's not like you have a lot of free time anyway to try and win people over. Ganarte a la gente. And Elena commented and she says, that's exactly what I tell my 11-year-old son every day. Yeah, it's really important for kids to know that. Because you want to be popular, you want to be liked by everyone, but that's not realistic. And she says, trying to get everyone to like us is impossible and not worth trying. So I'd rather focus on more positive things, such as learning English with you. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for making my day. Also, Rebecca. She's a gospel singer. Shout out to Rebecca Garcia. You can follow her on social media as Rebecca Rods. And she says, yesterday I heard you say that it's important for you to know that we are on the other side of the radio. And we are. I never fail if I can tune in. And then she says, I love English deeply, and I can feel how I'm improving. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Elena and Rebecca, and all of you who take the time, because it's not just the nice comments that you send. I know it takes time out of your busy schedules to, think about what you want to say, write it, and then hit send. So I really appreciate you taking the time to tell me how much you enjoy the show and learning with me. It means the world to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I always say, this show without you guys, I just don't know what it would be. I can't imagine the show without the show with no namers. All right. But that doesn't mean you're going to get out of our challenges today. Oh, no. We've got challenges all the time here on the show. And, our Say What soundbite today, I think it'll be pretty easy. Yesterday, nobody got it. So I guess that tells me it was quite difficult yesterday. Well, let's see if you guys can make some sense of today's Say What soundbite. Here it is for the first time.
Well, I never try to look for futures as far as this business is concerned. There are too many things that you don't have any control over, such as time slot, opposition, and so forth. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show, and we're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're going to like.
Hey, honey, do you know when the next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night is?
Yeah, Daddy. It's on Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. And you're hosting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're so forgetful, Daddy. What will you do without me?
You're absolutely right, honey. I am a bit absent-minded. Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it. Just mark your calendar. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. We'll meet you at the Toast Tap Room.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got it. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room, Calle San Vicente Ferrer, 33.
Yeah, you got it, Daddy. Be there or be square, amigos.
Excellent. Now, folks, it's officially around the corner. And, I highly recommend you go if you live in Madrid and you can make it on Tuesday, November 4th. What a way to kick off November with some great friends. I know Richard Vaughn is going to be there, Rob Grams, Kyle Miller, Chris Valrol, my wife, my daughter, just some really amazing people. So I can tell you, we're going to have an amazing turnout. Turnout is asistencia, right? An amazing turnout. And, my daughter said it all in 4 words. Be there or be square. It's a free event and it's taking place at the Toast Tap Room. We do it once a month, so November's my month. Next month, December, well, the month after next month, because technically we're still in October, it'll be Richard Vaughn. So we are going to end the year off with a bang por la puerta grande. Join us for this free event. If you want more information, you can find it on social media. I believe Vaughn shared the information on one of their channels, if not all of them. They're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all that jazz. All right, folks. Well, that was your Say What soundbite. Why don't we move on over to today's pop quiz? Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. I can't hear you. Pop quiz, quiz, quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz here on the show with no name. And as always, the pop quiz is where we take a look at different materials from the Vaughn Tienda. And yesterday, we didn't take a look at a material from the Vaughn Tienda. Yesterday, if you didn't catch the show, we listened to a ghost story. The Man, well, it's not called The Man with the Golden Arm. That's a movie. It's called The Golden Arm, and it's about a woman named Elvira and her golden arm. And it's awesome. If you didn't catch it, you can find it on all your podcast platforms. Just search for The Show with No Name, and you'll find it. And that brings me to another email that I got yesterday. Now, all three of these comments I got within the last 48 hours. Again, it's amazing to get so much feedback and wonderful, wonderful responses from my students. And this one is from Juan Lu. Okay, I'll give you his name because I know there's no shame in his game. No tiene vergüenza. And this way we send him a shout out. He's over in Chicago. Now, does that sound familiar? We have a student who participates in our question of the week, and we're going to hear from her later. And I call her Cristina Chicago, correct? Well, this is her husband. That's right, Juan Lu. And in fact, I know the whole family. And a shout out to Juan Lu, Cristina, and the kids. Bueno, kids. Ya no son tan jóvenes. They're getting older. They were little kids when I met them in Madrid. And this is a message from Juan Lu. And it really, again, it's a beautiful message. You guys make my day every day. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And Juan Lu says, "Hi, this is Juan Lu, Cristina Chicago's husband. I only wanted to tell you that you're my inspiration." Oh, man, I'm going to cry. "And you have helped me a lot in my English life. For example, this morning I was commuting with my bike to school at 6:30 a.m. You're an early bird, and the early bird gets the worm, Juan Lu. And he says, "I was listening to the story about the golden arm. When I arrived at my school, I searched the story. I searched for it on YouTube, and I got the transcript of this creepy story. After that, I made a worksheet, and with multiple choice questions and open-ended questions for my newcomer students, mis nuevos alumnos. Tomorrow, we'll celebrate Halloween, and we will listen to the story, and after that, do the activities. I hope my students crap their pants. Que se cagan en los pantalones. Apart from that, I usually borrow some good content and topics from your show, like Question of the Week, songs, and homophones. Thank you very much, Alberto. You are the one and only profe de inglés. So thank you so much, Juan Lu. It's amazing. And that's, guys, all the content that I create here every day. Sure, if you're a teacher, feel free to use it. I know a lot of teachers who say, hey, Alberto, I get content from your show all the time. And you know what? That makes me very content. Bueno, es la misma palabra, pero pronunciado de dos formas. So content is what I make. Content is what you guys make me. So thank you again, not just for your beautiful words, but for taking the time to write me these heartfelt messages, mensajes escritos desde el alma, desde el corazón. I really, really can't put into words how grateful I am for all of you. So, hey, if you come to the trivia night, I'd love to give each and every one of you a hug, a big bear hug. And by the way, they tell me I give killer hugs. All right. Well, folks, we've already listened to our Say What soundbite. And today we're going to listen to something from Listen Up. Now, Listen Up is just one of the many materials that you can pick up at Von Tienda. It has 88 paragraphs that were written by the master himself, Richard Vaughn. It's got over 2 hours of audio, and I guess the name of the book says it all. Guys, listen up.
Going to a gig. And now the vocabulary. Band.
Grupo,
Gig or concert.
concierto,
Drummer.
batería, baterista,
Crazy.
loco,
Noisy.
ruidoso,
Venue.
lugar, local,
Spare.
de sobra, de repuesto,
Performance.
actuación.
I attended my first gig in London last night, and it was incredible. My best friend called me to tell me she had a spare ticket. I wasn't sure about going to gigs in the past because there are always so many people and they can be so crowded, not to mention sweaty and noisy. The drummer was completely crazy. When he came on stage, he was screaming at the crowd, and 3,000 people him even louder. The band had so much energy and they completely controlled the venue with their performance. I'm hooked. And it's easy to see why people are crazy about this band. I called my friend the next day to thank her, but she had lost her voice.
I'm hooked on a new band. Estoy enganchado a un grupo nuevo. My boss was crazy. Mi jefe estaba loco. Why did you enter the office without permission? ¿Por qué has entrado en el despacho sin permiso? The next gig will be crowded too. El próximo concierto estará abarrotado también. I didn't have a spare ticket. No tenía una entrada de sobra.
Selling old records. And now the vocabulary. Vinyl record.
Disco de vinilo.
Laptop.
Portátil.
Value.
Valor.
Downtown.
El centro de la ciudad.
Speaker.
Altavoz. Bafle.
Over the phone.
Por teléfono.
Last week, I agreed to sell all my vinyl records. I don't listen to them anymore. When I listen to music, I listen to it on my laptop. Record experts agree that the important thing when selling records is to do your own research, to know the real value. You don't want to get ripped off. I called a record shop downtown and they confirmed the price over the phone for my whole collection. €600. We agreed on a price immediately, and now I have €600 to buy some new speakers.
How did you get ripped off? ¿Cómo fuiste engañado? We should do our own research. Deberíamos hacer nuestra propia investigación. I don't know why he was screaming at me. No sé por qué él me estaba gritando. I will confirm the time later. Te confirmaré la hora luego. The important thing is to agree on a time. Lo importante es estar de acuerdo en una hora.
Taking music classes. And now the vocabulary.
Drumming lesson.
Clase de batería.
Amazing.
Increíble, asombroso.
Style of music.
Estilo.
Song.
Canción.
Bass drum.
Bomba.
Snare drum.
Caja.
Cymbal.
Platillo.
Therapeutic.
Terapéutico.
I had so much fun at my drumming lesson, it was amazing. I'm attending classes because I want to start a band and there are a few drummers around. I love taking my frustration out on the drums, it's very therapeutic. I was talking to my teacher and he explained to me all the different styles. Jazz, rock, metal. I explained to him that I'm going to start a punk band and he explained to me how each drum is played. The bass drum, snare, hi-hat and cymbals. Now I can play 2 Queen songs.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. You're chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at Vaughn Tienda or wherever fine books are sold. Also, if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, please feel free to stop by. We'd love to meet you. We can just give you even just a free consultation. Even if you don't want to do a level test, you can just tell us a little bit about where you are on your English journey, and at least we can guide you in the right direction. We've got offices all over Spain, and we're just waiting to meet you. All right. Now, we're not looking at This Book is the Shit, though, today. We're looking at Listen Up, and man, that was jam-packed. We heard the word crowded in there. Well, another way to say that is jam-packed, a tope, repleto, chock full of amazing vocabulary. All right, but let's take a look at what I want you to give me in today's pop quiz. All right, the first one is a very, very useful word that means extra. Okay, de repuesto, de sobra. Okay, it's also used in bowling. It's un semipleno. So a strike is when you get all 10 pins down on the first throw. Okay. If you get all 10 pins down on both throws, that's called a semipleno. Okay. So that's another use. If you, hey, who knew that being a bowler would help you? Also, it's escatimar. Okay. And it's, what's another way to say this here? Ahórrame los detalles. Okay, so ahórrame tal cosa. So it's a very, very useful word. You can use it in any one of those, iterations there. It's up to you. So again, the first one is repuesto, de repuesto, de sobra, extra. También semipleno. And también es ahorrarle a alguien, ¿ok? Ahórrame a lot of times es frase hecha, ahórrame los detalles, por favor. All right? Very rich word, and as always, use it in context. Use it in a context where you would naturally use it. The second one, enganchado. I can think of something. ¿Estáis enganchados a Vaughan Radio o a aprender inglés? It's up to you. You can use it however you want. The second one is enganchado. All right. Use that in context. And the third one is timado. They said in the audio, fue timado, me timaron. All right. Those are your 3 challenges in today's pop quiz. The first one, as I said, many, many meanings. The second one, enganchado. And the last one, timado. And we'll take a look at that and much more after this quick commercial break. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the show with no name. We are celebrating Halloween. Oh, yeah. I'm excited. I like it. I know it's another one of these, consumer holidays. Buy candy, buy Halloween costumes. But also, I don't want to be the party pooper. Then you're like Ebenezer Scrooge at Christmas. Bah, humbug. Well, if you don't like something, what I generally find, just shut up. Concentrate on what you like. People are so quick to say what they don't like in this world. And all I think of, you don't like I'll use Elon Musk. He's a guy who, some people love him, some people can't stand him. Some are totally indifferent. I could care less. Me importa un bledo este tío. I don't really care about billionaires, trillionaires, whatever he is. But I know, some people who hate Elon Musk spend their whole day talking about him. And I'm like, wait, if you hate something, why are you filling your head with it? Your thoughts, your mouth? Focus on the things you love, not the things you hate. Our thoughts, manifest in reality. So if you're constantly thinking about the things you don't like, well, wow, it's not a very nice existence, right? Focus on what you love. And as we said before, different strokes for different folks. I don't want everybody to like snowboarding. I don't think everybody should like roller coasters. Why? Those are my things. Well, mine and many other people. Whatever your things are, they're your things. They're things that you like. Focus on those things. The things that make us happy. And, that's exactly like the algorithm. Speaking of Elon Musk, they show you things you don't like, so you'll react. Because they know that you're more prone to react or to comment when you have something negative to say, right? So they'll show you things that they know are going to make you, jump. Oh, man. All right. Well, we have got a lot of stuff to cover here in part 2 of today's show, plus a nice round of applause for Anix, Chris Valrol, Nuria Turani, and Christina Chicago. The ladies, guys, no comment. I'm going to focus on the positive. Okay, so I won't say anything about the guys, but the ladies are destroying you guys in that section. So I don't know what it is. Maybe they're braver, más valientes, I don't know. I don't know, but it's a strange phenomenon. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got our Say What soundbite. Is everybody ready? Here it is for the second time.
Well, I never try to look for futures as far as this business is concerned. There are too many things that you don't have any control over, such as time slot, opposition, and so forth. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show, and we're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're going to like.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. It is available at Vaughan Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. And as you know, today we are looking at Listen Up. But before we take a look at your answers, because I see we've got a lot of participation here, let me give you next week's question of the week. And a big shout out to Chris Valrol for sending us this suggestion. What is your least favorite household chore? Is it ironing, doing laundry, scrubbing the bathroom? Whatever it is, let us know. And of course, why? That is next week's question of the week. What is your least favorite chore and why? And just like every question of the week, you can record it on your phone, keep it at around a minute, and then you can send it to my email address, which is aalonso@grupovaughan.com. Again, it's aalonso@grupovaughan.com. All right, that's next week's question of the week. In a little bit, we'll be taking a look at this week's, which is what is your favorite emoji and why? Let's check in with our show at No Namers. We've got Elena in the house, bringing a bit of her magic. What's up, Elena? She says, good morning, folks. Ready and willing for a fantastic show. Very punny. Fang colmillo. A fantastic show. And then she says, aren't you excited? Halloween is tonight. Another totally native. Aren't you? Sounds a little bit like orange you. Orange you, she said. I love it, Elena. 2 puns for the price of 1. So fantastic and orange you. And orange is evidentemente the color of a pumpkin is orange. But also if you say aren't you coming later? Excellent, Elena. You have started off on the right foot today. All right, there's Chris Valrol. She says, morning, lovely show with no-namers. It seems Thanksgiving has already arrived, judging by these lovely comments you've read. But it's true. We all feel genuine gratitude for the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are my fuel. Right? Mi gasolina. That's right, you guys. I'm telling you. You keep me going. Even, when I'm having a bad day, I open up, the comments or whatever. Do one little thing that says, Alberto, I have all your books. Just this morning, I got another comment on Instagram. Hey, Alberto, I've been following you for years. I've got all your books. I still listen to the audio of English Everywhere, which was written decades ago. Over a decade ago, and really, it's I almost feel like I don't deserve it. Ni me lo merezco. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Well, technically in Spain, it's Christmas time already, right? Since you skipped Thanksgiving. All right, let's see. Elena's got something to say about today's Say What soundbite. She says, an American well-spoken man. Mejor, a well-spoken American man. El orden es chungo, porque hay un orden, pero nosotros lo sabemos instintivamente. Like, it's a crazy thing, because it's like condition, lo puedes buscar, condition, color, like there's like an order to adjectives, but we have no idea. No one ever taught us the order. It's just kind of instinctive. It's insane. One of those mysteries. So she says, a well-spoken American man featuring a show whose foremost concern is that the audience enjoy the next episodes in store. Por venir. Excellent. Spot on, Elena. Spot on. Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, hello, friends. What's up, Born to Iron Man? Great to have you with us, my amigo. Oh, we've got a challenging spelling bee for you today, because today we've got letters and numbers. Woo-hoo-hoo. Get ready, folks. Get ready for a really challenging spelling bee, but that's a little bit later on. Let's see. Chris Valrol has got something to say about our Say What soundbite. And she says, I heard an American man talking about a show he runs and his desire for the public to enjoy the episodes. Yep. So you guys got the main idea. You got the main idea. Hopefully you'll be able to get it word for word before the end of the show. All right. Now, before we take a look at your pop quiz answers, which I see we've got quite a few people, quite a few es bastante, aunque suena a pocos, quite a few people participating. Let's just see a couple things that I wanted to highlight from the audio. All right. The word bolo. How do we say the word bolo? Gig. That's right. I went to a concert last night. I went to a gig. Es con G. Porque si ponemos la palabra con J, ya es jig. Do you know what a jig is? It's an Irish dance. Bailar una giga. Ah, you call it a giga. Okay. We also have an expression, though. The jig is up. Se destapó la olla. Ah, mira, no lo sabía en español. The jig is up, guys. I know the truth now. Okay, the jig is up. So don't confuse jig con J, que es el baile y la expresión esta, and gig, que es con G. All right, gig. Let's see. We already looked at crowded. We use that all the time. The place was crowded. A crowd es un mogollón. The crowd es el público también. The crowd went wild when the opening band took the stage. ¿No? Cuando salieron los teloneros, the crowd went wild. But the place was really crowded. ¿Ves? Tenemos un double trouble ahí. You can also say packed, right? Another one, vinilo. How do we say it in English? Vinyl. Sí, otra palabra que lo ves, dices, claro, yo sé lo que es. Pero ahora la pregunta es, ¿lo pronunciamos bien? Vinyl. ¿Y disco? ¿Vinilo? Record. Record. ¿Y grabar? Record. Vamos a decir esta frase. Van a grabar un vinilo, un disco. They're going to record a record. Okay, también sabemos record de our wacky world records, a section we have here on the show. Another one, research. I know you know that, investigación e investigar, but what's the phrasal verb? You know I love my phrasal verbs. How would you say lo investigaré? I'll look into it. Mira, piénsalo, ¿qué es lo que haces? Mirar más en profundidad, no? If you think about it, that phrasal verb makes sense. I'm going to look into it. I'll let you know when I have an answer, okay? And how do we say gritar? Let's scream and shout and let it all out. We're singing, oh, 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 oh. We're gonna scream and shout and let it all out. And we've got yell too. So yell, scream, and shout. Hey, these are Halloween words. Another one, a false friend. Ella toca la batería. Talking about my daughter. She touches the battery. No. She plays the drums. And we heard all the different kinds of drums. You got the snare drum, the bass drum, the cymbals. Platillos. Eso es un homófono también. There are symbols on the cymbals, right? The logo is a symbol. Pues hay un símbolo en los platillos. So there's a homophone for you, okay? And how do we say el conjunto? We say a drum set or a drum kit. A drum set or a drum kit. Another thing they talked about too is taking your frustration out. Tomándolo con la batería, right? It's a great therapy, I would say. Right? It's another word that comes to mind is to blow off some steam, right? We're going to blow off some steam. We're going to take our frustration out on this punching bag or on these drums. And the last one, and I think we've looked at this one recently, if we call somebody a punk in English, we're not saying que es un punky, right? We're saying he's a punk rocker if we're saying he's a punky. So, le gusta la música punky, tiene a mohawk, lo llamamos mohawk por los indios, mohawk, una cresta, you say. But we don't call that person a punky. We call that person a punk rocker, right? A punk es un gamberro, rufián, right? A punk. So, and to punk someone, it's another way of saying to play a prank on someone. De hecho, hay un programa de MTV que se llama Punked, donde gastan bromas. You got punked, right? So just some vocabulary that I wanted to highlight from this material. Again, it's called Listen Up. You can pick it up at Vaughn Tienda for $16.95. That's under $17. I'm going to share the link with you here. Also, if you're thinking about getting those deals on our cursos de auto estudio, the time is running out, folks. So go to our website and see if it's still available. But up until the 31st, I don't know when you're listening to this, but up until the 31st of October, 2025, you could have gotten, si ya es tarde, a 60% discount on some of our online courses. Again, I think the best way to stay abreast, mantenerte al día, is to follow us on social media. And this way, you'll know what's going on in the Vaughn world. All right, let's check your answers here for our pop quiz. Let's see. The first person, Elena. Elena, you are on it today. I mean, unbelievable. All right, let's see. She says, do you have a spare pen by any chance? How polite. You wouldn't happen to have a spare pen. Ahora es mucha palabra, pero bueno. Como te digo, I would never just say to somebody I don't know, do you have a pen? Because that sounds rude. So, do you have a spare pen by any chance? So that word spare, it's great. Great word. Some people have a spare bedroom, right? If you have family members come to visit, okay? Some people have a spare room directamente. Es como el trastero, a room where you keep toys and all kinds of stuff. A spare tire. Well, if you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire, you're going to make sure, you're going to want to, it'll be too late at that point, but you hope you have a spare tire. Also, if you eat a lot of junk food and you don't go to the gym or do any physical exercise, you're going to have a spare tire too. You say Michelin? Same idea, right? Michelin, a spare tire. Okay. And Elena, I just thought of a double trouble. Could you spare a spare pen? So, could you spare? Me podría dar? Okay, there's another usage of spare. Oh my God. Let's see. Could you spare, prestar, dejar? Could you spare 5 minutes of your time? Me lo prestas, me lo das? Okay. So interesting. And then we said also another usage was spare me the details. Okay. Spare me. My father says sometimes when my mom nags him to nag, Diego, did you do this? Diego, you have to do the other. He goes, spare my life. Ahórrame la vida. So excellent. Great, great. The next one, Elena says, I'm really hooked on this show. How about you? Well, yeah. As I said, it's more than just a job to me, as many of you know. This is, I don't know. If I didn't do this every morning, I wouldn't know what to do, because this has been my morning for the last 16 years, sitting in front of a microphone, teaching you guys English in a wacky way, de manera chiflada. And Elena, let's go 3 for 3. She says, we were ripped off by the scoundrel scalper. Totally native. Scoundrel, I think, is, what's the word you say? Canalla? Scoundrel? A ver si es verdad. Hello? Hello? Canalla, yes, sinvergüenza. I love that word. You scoundrel. And a scalper is somebody who sells scalped tickets. And scalped tickets are de reventa. Okay? So that's great vocabulary that has to do with concerts. Excellent job, Anna. Fantastic, as you say. All right, let's see. Chris says, please spare me listening to how you really feel. All right, spare. To spare, ahórratelo. The next one, I'm deeply hooked to Show with No Name. Hang on. I'm addicted to, I'm hooked on. Y lo sabemos de canciones, ¿eh? You might as well face it, you're addicted to love. The lights are on, and you're not whole. You're mine, and not your own. Your body sweats, your heart beats. I'm addicted to, y la otra canción, Ooga chaka, ooga. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing. So you got 2 options there, to be addicted to something or hooked on something. But that's exactly why I ask you guys to use full sentences, so we can make sure you've got those details down pat. So I'm deeply hooked on the Show with No Name, or I'm deeply addicted to the Show with No Name. And the last one, they schemed, doble M. All right. So scam es timar, pero cuando ponemos ing o ed, pues duplicamos la M. So they scammed him con dos M's with that purchase. Excellent job. Just a couple adjustments, unos ajustes, a couple tweaks, and you got it. Yeah, they scammed him. They ripped him off, as Elena says, right? I was scammed. I was ripped off. También se puede usar con get. Es el reflexivo. I got scammed. I got ripped off. Excellent job, ladies. There's Born to Iron Man. He says, I always take a spare tube when I ride my bicycle. Yeah, the inner tube. Great. Yeah, because the tire is the rubber on the outside, and the inner tube, como el nombre implica, es lo que el tubo que va dentro de goma. So I always take a spare inner tube when ride my bicycle. Te falta el when I ride my bicycle, right? All right, the next one. It goes without saying that I hook on cycling. Te voy a hacer unos ajustes. It goes without saying, que me gusta eso. It goes without saying, no hay que decirlo, that I'm hooked on cycling. So I am, lo podemos contraer, te falta el verbo ser o estar ahí, that I'm hooked con ed. So it's to be, el infinitivo is to be hooked on. Okay? So it goes without saying that I'm hooked on cycling. Excellent job. And the last one, have you ever been ripped off on the internet? Yeah. And I don't want to talk about it because I feel like a sucker. A sucker. Un pringao. Un mamao. No, mamao, I don't think. Un mamón. Right? Suck, mamar. Makes sense. Un pringado. Yeah, it's a long story, but yes. Let's put it this way. I almost got ripped off. I almost got scammed last week, and it was pretty scary. All right, folks, excellent job. Wow, knocking it out of the park. But right now, we've got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the second half of today's show, so stick around. Wow! Come on! Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is Vaughn Radio. And don't forget, you've got amazing programs all day long. Right after today's show, you've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale. The Lunchtime Show with Rob Grams. Speak English with Ruby. Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Dave Boys and The Salad. Don't forget about Kyle Miller and his program Drive Time. You got Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. Richard Vaughn Live. Of course, the man who started it all. My buddy, my mentor, Richard Vaughn. Yes. You've got Jessica Fernandez and the hour to empower. Work on your well-being and your English at the same time. And what a great way to start your day. You've got the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. And right before this show every day, you can warm up with my buddy Fitz in his master class called No Excuses. Download the Vaughn Radio app and you can listen to us on the go. And you can find these programs on all your favorite podcast platforms. Hell yeah. Claro que sí. All right, amigos, it's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name.
Sing it.
The show with no
homophone. The show with no name. I can't hear you. Well, yeah, the technology doesn't work that way. All right, my amigos, here's where we take apart these tricky words, these words that my students often stumble upon. Tropiezan, is that the word? They stumble upon them and they're like, oh God, what do I say here? Is this? And I know it. So we've compiled a list of words that may or may not sound the same. And it's a section that we do every day called homophones. Now, remember, if you don't repeat aloud at any point in the show, this is the moment. All right. The first word is something that is dangerous or uncertain. Okay. Arriesgado. Peligroso. Okay. Riesgoso. That's not the easiest word to say, is it? So, arriesgado, peligroso, riesgoso. Okay, I think it's a word many of you know. It's also, without the Y at the end, it's a very popular board game where the goal, the objective, the aim, más fácil aún, is world domination. All right. I'm giving you a clue here. All right. And the second word is a word we use, I believe. Yeah, it comes from French. So the word is sexually suggestive. Okay. Subido de tono. Atrevido. Picante. Okay. Another way we can say this is erotic or racy. Racy. That's right. R-A-C-Y. So the first word, arriesgado, peligroso. And the second word is subido de tono, atrevido, picante. It has to do with something erotic or sexually suggestive. Those are your homophones. Are you familiar with the words? And do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. I know someone's going to get it. Here it is for the third time.
Well, I never try to look for futures as far as this business is concerned. There are too many things that you don't have any control over, such as time slot, opposition, and so forth. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show, and we're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're going to like.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, folks. Vaughntown. It won't just take your English to the next level, but it is definitely a life-changing experience. And I'm not overstating that. No lo estoy exagerando. How do I know? Well, I know maybe about 10 students throughout the 20 years I've been doing this. And all 10 of them have told me, not that they enjoyed it, that, oh my God, I'm speechless. I don't even know how to put into words what happened last week. So it is really an amazing experience. Don't take my word for it. Talk to any student who has ever been to our Vaughntown, and you'll see that it is not just an English experience, it's a life experience. And obviously I don't have to do it, but I've volunteered many times to go up there and do a radio show. Now, we've never done that, but I've volunteered. I've offered myself to say, hey, I'll go up there, we'll do a radio show, because again, I've heard so many good reviews, rave reviews about Vaughntown. And that, along with Vaughan Radio, those are two of the initiatives that Richard Vaughan created that put us on the map. So, people know Vaughan Radio. In fact, most people I talk to think that the company, Vaughan, is as old as the radio. But the company was around for a decade or two before the radio started. But the radio, Vaughntown, they came around the same time. Those two initiatives were just groundbreaking. And again, most people I know are like, oh yeah, I discovered Vaughan through Vaughan Radio, not because of the advertising. And remember, there was no social media back then either. So it was not like something went viral and like, oh wow, I just saw a funny video. No. There was radio, and then people started getting hooked on it. And there's even a video I have of Cristiano Ronaldo listening to Vaughan Radio. And I was like, okay, so wow. And as many of you know, I'm apolitical. I don't like any politicians, really. I think if you get into that field, it's usually because you're looking for power or you're money hungry. But I'll never forget the time Shoemaker Zapatero came to our offices. And he was making the rounds, shaking everybody's hand, doing the political thing. Hey, hello. And I said, hi, he goes, Alberto Alonso, get out of here. Calla, you're my teacher. And I said, oh, wow. He wasn't the president at that time, the prime minister, whatever you call them, at that time. But I was like blown away. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo was even... that was just mind-blowing. I'm like, wait a second. I go to the Bernabeu to watch you, and you're listening to me? Wow. It took me a while to wrap my head around that. Captarlo, entenderlo, the implications of that. So everybody, not everybody, but I don't mean everybody in Spain, but from every walk of life, that cada condición social, listens to Vaughan Radio. Anybody who loves languages, really, and wants to learn English for free. I know we've got a lot of taxi drivers as well. A shout out to all our taxi drivers. Hey, I applaud you. You're working, right? You're supporting your family, and you're learning English at the same time. That sounds very, very productive to me. All right, let's go on over to our homophones here and see what you guys had to say. Elena, you are on it today, Elena. She says the two words correctly, and she says they aren't homophones. Chris Valrol agrees, and Born to Iron Man as well. All right, well, let's say these words here. Okay, the first word is risky. If we take away the Y, it's risk, el sustantivo, y el verbo. He risked everything. Es un verbo regular, right? And he took a risk, to take a risk. But if we want to make it into an adjective, we add a Y. That was a risky decision. You know it from the movie Risky Business. I'm sure many of you have heard that. Risky. Okay, that one's not too difficult. Isn't there a golosinas risky or trisky or something like that? Now that I said it, it sounds like some gusanitos or something. Risky, risky. All right, the second word, how do we say that one? Risque. Now, I don't know if we're pronouncing it properly in French, but that's how Americans pronounce that word. Not right now. I'm having a bit of deja vu. I don't know, some je ne sais quoi. So risky, first word, risque, risque. So they are not homophones. Excellent job, Elena. Chris Valrol and Born to Iron Man, knocking it out of the park. All right, let's see. Elena also getting today's Say What soundbite. I can't believe it. You got it, Elena. Awesome job. Wow. Wow. Looks perfect, too. So wonderful job. Hats off. I'd take my hat off right now, but then I'd have to take off my headphones, and you know what I mean. So a figurative hats off to you. All right, let's see. Now we are going to hear from some of our super students, our super show with no namers on Question of the Week.
Question of the Week.
All right. We are taking a look at emojis today. And you know what? As Annick said, she said, I didn't know some of the names of the emojis, right? Because sure, there are so many of them that you're like, well, wait a second. I mean, how could I ever know all the names of these emojis? Well, there are websites. In fact, I'm looking at one right now. You have face with tongue, winking face with tongue, zany face. Zany face is that crazy face with one eye up, one eye down, and the tongue hanging out. That's called zany face. Zany meaning crazy, right? Money mouth face. That's the one with the tongue with the dollar sign and the eyes with the dollar sign. Squinting face with tongue. Oh, I love that one too. Squinting face is ojos chinos, I think you say, which is not at all racist, right? So to squint is to close your eyes, like when the sun's in your eyes. So that's the one where the tongue is out, like, I love that one, by the way. Squinting face with tongue. You've got thinking face. That's the one that's got the hand on the chin, right? And zipper mouth face. Eso es calla, no cuentes nada. Zipper, que es cremallera, zipper mouth face, and so on and so forth. I love this one. Face with rolling eyes. Estos son los que están mirando arriba. To roll your eyes is, oh God, spare me. Bueno, usando la palabra spare de antes. So lots and lots of them. And again, you got so many that, look, face vomiting, sneezing face, nauseated face. You can learn a lot of different vocabulary just by looking at the names of the most common emojis. All right, we're going to hear from some of our students right now. First up, we've got Anix.
Hey there, Anix here. The emoji that I use the most is the kiss heart.
The kiss heart, okay?
You know, that one that is just throwing a kiss with a shape of a red heart. And I don't know, maybe because I'm texting all the time my colleague or my coworkers or my loved ones. Or maybe it's just because I am a kind and affectionate person and I don't like to admit it. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Bye-bye.
Excellent. Yeah, I love that one. What I do with that one, just in case, because I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea, I always use that one twice. Dos besos. I don't want anybody to think I'm giving them one. It's different. So excellent, Anix. And she explained, well, I guess, I'm an affectionate person, even though you won't hear me admit that. But you can tell, of course, you can tell a lot about a person and their interactions by the emojis that they use the most. So excellent job, Anix. As always, you expressed yourself beautifully, and we're sending you a heart kiss as well. All right, let's see. We've got another show with no name superstar. You know her. She's your movie queen, Chris Valrol.
Morning, Chocotonamers. Chris Valrol here. I don't think there's only one emoji I use more. It depends on the situation.
Situation, me encanta, tía. You didn't say situation. You said situation. Situation. I love it. It's music to my ears, Chris.
The okay hand comes in handy when I want to express agreement or confirm I've read a message.
All right. So the okay hand, the thumbs up, right? Gotcha. Okay.
The flamenco dancer or the party face.
Oh, the flamenco dancer. Don't underestimate the flamenco dancer. Oh, that's a great one.
When I'm really happy about something. Also the clapping hands. The smiling face with hearts or the heart to express I love something, a picture, a comment. The face blowing a kiss or the hanging face to say goodbye. I don't know if I'm using them properly, but such is life. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's another thing. A lot of times, you send an emoji, you're like, does this mean what I think it means? I mean, we are communicating in symbols here, like Egyptian hieroglyphics, like, is this person getting what I'm really sending? And believe me, I've heard among young people, like teenagers, that a lot of them have like a secondary meaning. Like they can even have a risque meaning. So yeah, I'm not so sure I understand them all either. So, we're talking about English, we're talking about Spanish, but emoji, that's its own language there. Again, I compare it to the modern hieroglyphics. Excellent job, Anix and Chris Valrol. You make me proud. All right, I'm going to give you the thumbs up, or I prefer to use, I used to use the thumbs up a lot, but now I use the rock on, which is the same thing, like, yes, rock and roll. All right, let's hear from a student who never misses our question of the week. It's Nudia.
Hey there, Alberto and Sabino Namers. What's good? This is Nuria.
What's good? Totally native. What's good?
We have another new question to tackle this week, so let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. Am I hearing from an American person? Nudia, are you sure you're living in Madrid or you're living in Detroit?
I use several emojis to tell you the truth. All of them go around love, affection, and gratitude. For instance, that emoji with tears of joy rolling on the floor, that expresses laughing and crying at the same time, or that sweet emoji sending a kiss.
Ooh, that seems like the most popular one, the hearty kiss.
Not to mention the sparkling heart or the red or glowing one. In my way of thinking, the use of the emojis are easier and faster than testing the whole message. And through them, I try to show positive feelings and do a word of good. Maybe because one thing that can describe my personality is sensitivity. I don't know. Thank you. Take care.
Excellent, Nudia. I like how Nudia said, in general, the emojis that I use in general have to do with love, have to do with, being kind, because you are a kind person. Now, nobody has mentioned my favorite one yet, another favorite of mine, the smiling face with sunglasses. To me, I use that. Now, I don't know if this is an official use, but I use that one as cool. Why? Right? Because he's cool. So I'll meet you in 2 hours. Cool. Now, that's the thing. I don't know if other people are reading it that way. All right. Well, we're going to hear from some more students. We're going to hear from Turani and Cristina Chicago in the fourth part of the show. But I say we change gears right now and take a look at our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, folks, let's rock and roll with our spelling bee over here. As I said, today we've got numbers and letters. So as you can imagine, I'm going to give you cities and their populations. So here we go. The first round, strap on your seatbelt, as we say in the beginning of the show. Here we go. The first one is LAS space VEGAS, and the population is 678,922. The second one is HENDERSON, and the population is 350,039. The next one is NORTH space LAS space VEGAS, and the population is 294,034. The next one is RENO, and the population is 281,714. The fifth one is ENTERPRISE, and the population is 232,043. And the last one is SPRING space VALLEY, and the population there is 219,913. Whoa. I warned you. I told you I was going to fly through that. Okay. I'll give you about 30 seconds, 20 seconds, because really we don't have much time. We have to go to our final commercial break in about a minute and a half. So I'm going to have to, even though I don't want to fly through them on the second go, I'm left with no other choice. Going once, going twice. Here's round two. The first one is LAS space VEGAS, and the population 678,922. The next one is HENDERSON, and the population there is 350,039. The third one is NORTH space LAS space VEGAS, and the population there is 294,034. The fourth one is RENO, with a population of 281,714. The fifth one is ENTERPRISE, with a population of 232,043. And the last one is SPRING space VALLEY, and the population is 219,913. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So, say it with me, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 4 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. We've got a lot of stuff to cover in this, the 4th and final part of today's show. We're going to kick things off with our Double Trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite for the 4th time. Elena, great job on that one. We'll take a look at our question of the week. We've got Cristina, Chicago, and Turani. We still need to hear from them. We've got movies, jokes, famous birthdays, and so much more up ahead. And if you like challenges, don't forget to come to our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, Tuesday, November 4th at 7:30 p.m. All right, 7:45. And it's at the Toast Tap Room. We'll see you there for a wonderful evening of friends and fun. And it's free. That's the coolest part. Not too many things are free anymore. At least not in the United States. They're like, trivia night, $20 a head. You're like, wait, what, how did that? But I'm going to consume drinks and, $20 a head. And $30 for parking per car. And you're like, what? What? I didn't even walk in the door and I just spent $50. Jeez Louise. All right, well, folks, let's kick things off with a little challenge called Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble here on the show with no name. And you know what? I think this one's going to be relatively easy. I could be wrong. We shall see, though, in just a couple minutes when we see how many people actually, well, take a stab at it and then see how many people get it. All right. No sé cómo él busca un hueco para jugar al tragaperras. The bitch swallower. Well, perra, a female dog, right? It's a bitch. Now, nobody says nice bitch. They would just say nice dog, right? Pero sí que bitch es female dog. Que no lo confundamos con beach. Beach, playa, bitch, a female dog. Son of a bitch. Hijo de perra. Okay? But I love that you call it, I know you mean perras money there, right? So you don't have to explain it. I just love playing with those double meanings there. So no sé cómo él busca un hueco de tiempo, right? En su día, para jugar al tragaperras. All right? No sé cómo él busca un hueco para jugar al tragaperras. That is your double trouble. You've got to use the same word twice. Good luck. All right, here we go with our Say What soundbite for the 4th and final time.
Well, I never try to look for futures as far as this business is concerned. There are too many things that you don't have any control over, such as time slot, opposition, and so forth. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show, and we're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're going to like.
Alberto, viene Tom Cruise al hormiguero y tengo que decirle una cosa. Tengo que decirle, vamos al lío. ¿Cómo se lo digo?
Vamos al lío, tío. Eso es facilísimo. Piensa en la canción de DJ Tiesto. Let's get down to business. Give me one more night together. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. Ah, lo sabía, pero no sabía que lo sabía.
Aprende inglés con canciones, películas, videojuegos, series, personajes, onomatopeyas. Todas las cosas que te rodean están en inglés, pero no te das cuenta de que ya las tienes en la cabeza. Solamente hay que colocarlas. Y para eso, utiliza nuestro tercer libro, This Book is the Shit, por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Oh, yeah. This book is the shit, available at Von Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. All right, let's see what we've got over here for today's Double Trouble. Elena, you are on it, as we say. All right, let's see. She says, I don't know how he manages to find a slot to play the slot machines. Yes. You can say time slot or slot, se sabe del contexto. Now, another way you can say also slots. We call them slots. Do you play slots? Right? Juegas tragaperra? You know, when you go to Las Vegas, do you play slots or do you play table games? Okay, so se puede decir, you don't have to say slot machines, but it's correct. So I don't know how he manages to find a slot to play the slot machines. Wonderful job. Born to Iron Man says, I don't know how he finds a slot to play the slots. Yes. Now, ahí estamos hablando de específicos, right? En ambos casos. Si hablamos en general es sin el the, right? So I don't know how he finds a slot to play slots, okay? Or to play slot machines, okay? Pero vamos a decir que son específicos en vuestro caso, okay? To play the slots. Excellent. Let's see. Chris Valrol, I don't know how he finds a slot to play slot machines. Excellent job. Elena, Born to Iron Man, and Chris Valrol. All right, let's check out our spelling bee over here as well. And it was kind of linked because today in our spelling bee, we're talking about Nevada. And it's because today in 1864, Nevada was admitted as the 36th state. Okay, 36th? 36th state, and Nevada is where Las Vegas is. Aha. I linked it there. Did you like that? All right, let's see how you guys did over here. The first one to participate, Born to Iron Man, and the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one is correct. The fifth one's perfect. And the sixth one, please give it up for Born to Iron Man. And also Chris Valrol right on his heels. Also, Chris figuring out today's Say What soundbite. So give it up for the ladies. Elena and Chris Valrol in the Say What soundbite, and Born to Iron Man and Chris in our spelling bee. So yes, the spelling bee, let's go over them quickly. These are the most populous cities in Nevada. Number one, Las Vegas. Okay, Las Vegas. And I'll tell you it in Spanish para asegurar, si querías mirarlo, 678,922. Acuérdate, entre esos va una coma, no un punto. Okay? The next one was Henderson, and that's 350,039. O sea, 350,039. Okay? The next one, North Las Vegas. So there's Las Vegas, and then there's North Las Vegas with a population of 294,034. Okay, so 294,034. The fourth one is Reno. I know you say Reno, right? Un Reno. We say Reno, Nevada, another place where you can go gamble. And that is 281,714. 281,714. Separado por una coma, no un punto. Number 5, Enterprise, que es un negocio, an enterprise, and that's 232,000 43. So 232,043. And the last one was Spring Valley, and that was 219,913. Wonderful job in our spelling bee. Born to Ironman and Chris Valrol. All right, we need to hear from a couple more students in our question of the week. Let's have your undivided attention for Turani. She said she's a little under the weather when she recorded it. Un poco pachucha. I hope you're feeling better, Turani.
Hi there, so with no namers. This is Turani speaking. Speaking with a cold. I thought my most used emoji was a purple heart because I use it for showing love to my friends and family for something that I like or lovely things.
I love that you can personalize, because one thing is a red heart, which has been there, done that, no? Ya lo tenemos todo muy visto. So I love people who use the blue ones, the purple ones as kind of like their signature.
But checking my phone, I realized that it isn't. Is the smiling face, not only with the mouth, but also with the eyes, you know? Deep down, this hasn't surprised me because it's one of my traits. I've always been very expressive, and I think my face is the mirror of my soul.
Absolutely. We say the eyes are a mirror of the soul, but the face as well.
I am the one of those who think that smiling makes someone's day, and that's why I smile at people in front of me. The reason is that I'm holding out hope that maybe the other person will have a good one with a smile, even if it's a cranky person. Tell you a secret. I've got better results smiling than being serious. So long. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Wow, so long. Catch you later. Dos totally natives. Yeah, well, you get a lot more with the expression in English is you attract a lot more flies with honey than with vinegar. Think about it. Makes sense. Excellent job, Turani. Despite the cold, el resfriado, you knocked it out of the park. And it's a great philosophy. Smile. Smile. Why not? In fact, I think you use a lot more muscle. No, I think you use fewer muscles to smile than to frown. To frown is the opposite, right? To put on that sad or mad face. All right. Last but not least, Cristina, Chicago.
Good morning, Alberto from Chicago.
What energy.
Good morning, Alberto from Chicago. This is Cristina. I hope I'm still, on time to turn it in. About emojis. You're going to laugh about this. When I came, from United States I used to be, all my messages, ha, ha, ha. Like, the way, that we laugh.
Ja. Yeah,
and
we know.
Everybody was like, looking at me like, why you put ja?
Ja.
And I'm like, ja. I said, no, I didn't put that.
Yeah, you did.
And they were like, yeah, look. And then from that moment on, I start putting ha with an H.
Yeah.
So, to avoid, all those confusing things, confusing your concepts, I start, using emojis. So there's 3 emojis. The one that is laughing, with the tears in his face. The one that is cracking up, with the closed eyes. And the one, with the tongue. Mm-hmm. So any of those, are the ones, the most, the ones that I use most when I'm texting. And of course, I forgot putting, the JJ, like ja. And then another one that I use a lot is the middle finger. To you, everybody. I hope you like it. Bye.
Excellent energy. Guys, thanks to all of you for taking the time to record those and send them to me. And all I can say is I am extremely proud of all of you. So a nice round of applause for Anix, Chris Valrol, Nuria, Turani, and Chris Chicago. Keep it up. It's the only way to improve your speaking, by speaking on a regular basis. Remember, next week's question of the week is brought to us by Chris Valrol. It's an excellent question. What is your least favorite household chore? All right, folks, we're going to the cinema, as my British friends would say. Name That Movie. All right, my amigos, it is Name That Movie here on the show with no name. Let's see what we've got for you today. Here, let's get right into it because we don't have too much time. So, a workaholic architect, say that 5 times fast. Vaya trabalenguas. A workaholic architect finds a universal remote that allows him to fast forward and rewind to different parts of his life. Complications arise when the remote starts to overrule his choices. I love this movie. Well, I love the guy. This is one of my favorite producers, screenwriters, directors, comedians. I love this guy. My daughter does too. All right. So a workaholic, uno que es adicto al trabajo, he's addicted to work, he's hooked on work, finds a universal remote, a remote control that allows him to fast forward or rewind to different parts of his life. Complications arise. Vienen las complicaciones when the remote starts to overrule his choices. And to overrule means I'm in charge now. So, decidir en contra, right? Say, yeah, you want to do that? I'm doing it this way, right? So it starts to take on a mind of its own. Ladies and gentlemen, our movie queen, Chris Valrol. The movie is Click with my favorite, Adam Sandler. Yeah, I love Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, and the movie is Click. It stars Kate Beckinsale, Christopher Walken, Rob Schneider, who's in all of his movies. That's something I love about Adam Sandler as well. He works with the same people, Steve Buscemi. So you'll see a lot of the same people in his movies, which is great. That means, they like working together, and that's called teamwork. So excellent job, Click. And it came out in 2006. Michael Newman says, I was looking at our proposal. Propuesta. Proposal. El verbo is to propose something. You know what? After getting to know you a little bit, pues ya llegando a conocerte más, I realize this is not what you're all about. Me doy cuenta de que tú no vas de esto, tú no eres esto. In fact, let's just throw it out. Vamos a tirarlo a la basura. Another way to say that, throw it away. Pero nunca se dice solo throw. Okay? Y no hace falta decir to the garbage porque ya viene implicado en el out o el away. So let's just throw it out, all right? Lo tiramos. The river in the lobby idea. Okay, the river es el río in the lobby, en recepción. What an egghead move. Okay? Now, egghead is tonto. Cabeza de huevo. Okay? Egghead. Lumbrera, it says here. An egghead. I never heard that word before. He says, let's just keep all the plans simple. No nos compliquemos. Vamos a mantener todo aquí sencillo. Forget all the niceties. Okay? The niceties. Hello, thank you. Welcome. All these niceties. A ver cómo lo traducen. Niceties. Formalidades. Modales. Okay? Let's forget all the niceties and maximize our revenue. Nuestros ingresos. Our revenue. That's what it's all about anyways. De eso va todo esto de todos modos. The profits. Los beneficios. But do me a favor. Hazme un favor. Just give us your account and your trust. Danos tu cuenta, give us your business, right? Para que te tenemos como cliente, and your trust. That way, we can get the hell out of this dump. Podemos salir de este cuchitril, go to a TGI Fridays, el restaurante Fridays, and do some Jell-O shots. Jell-O shots, chupitos hechos de gelatina, que tienen vodka en vez de agua. Yeah, you can imagine what happens there because they don't taste like alcohol. And you can take like 100 of them and you're like, oh shit. So, and do some Jello shots till this guy pukes up a lung. Hasta que este tío vomita un pulmón. So there you go, folks. It is click. All right, it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. The first person was born in 1963. He works with Adam Sandler a lot. In fact, they were on Saturday Night Live together, and he was in Down Periscope, Big Daddy, The Animal. He was also in Grown Ups. He played the lead role in Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. He was also in Click, today's Name That Movie. So I just said his name. Number 2, this guy tells us if there was a problem, he'll solve it. Check out the hook while his DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby. Dum, 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 dum. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? I don't know. Yeah. He's a one-hit wonder. Un tema que se hizo muy famoso. Well, he still does. He's done tons of reality shows. And the guy still, he knows how to stay relevant in the entertainment industry, just not as a rapper. And last but not least, this guy at one time was one of the most influential actors. He was in the show Bonanza. He was Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie. Oh man, I used to love that show. He also played Jonathan Smith in the show Highway to Heaven. And sadly, in 1991, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And the world lost an awesome actor. Now, I don't know if he was in too many movies that I can think of, but he was in some of the greatest sitcoms series ever. I said Bonanza, which broke records for being on the air for so long. It was a Western one. Little House on the Prairie. He played the dad, Charles Ingalls. And Highway to Heaven, where he played an angel. And today's 3 famous birthdays are Rob Schneider, Robert Matthew Van Winkle, a.k.a. Vanilla Ice, and number 3, Michael Landon. That's right, Michael Landon. And that'll take us over to our Say What soundbite. He's talking about Little House on the Prairie, and he says... They said, well, what do you, the success of this show, people really love it, the interviewer says. And he goes, well, I never try to look for futures, right? I think he wanted to say for a future as far as this business is concerned, en cuanto a show business, la farándula. There are too many things that you don't have control over, such as time slot. We looked at that word in our Double Trouble. Opposition, los programas que van a la misma hora, and so forth, etc. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show. We're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're gonna like. All right, good job, Chris. You got the famous birthdays, but I had to move on for questions of time. So here's Michael Landon.
Well, I never try to look for futures as far as this business is concerned. There are too many things that you don't have any control over, such as time slot, opposition, and so forth. But I was happy to see that the audience enjoyed the show, and we're hopefully going to make some episodes in the future that they're going to like.
All right, folks, awesome job. I hope you enjoyed the show today, and I hope you learned, and I hope you're ready to rap with me, because we're going to say goodbye with Vanilla Ice, Ice, baby. Excellent job, my amigos. Hope you have a happy Halloween. And you know where we'll be. We'll be here Monday morning at 10:30, ready to rock, as always. Are you ready?
Let's kick it.
Boom, 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 boom. Come on. Vanilla ice, baby. All right, stop. Come on.
All right, stop.
Collaborate and listen. Ice back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance to watch the speaker that booms. I'm rattling your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it.
You better gain weight. You better hit bulls out of kid, don't play.
If it was a problem, yo, I'll solve it.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves.